When my brother and I were 10 and 12 respectively, our family went on a hike through the cemetery and into the woods not far from our house. My brothers and I would explore these woods every day. Even camped in M before. We knew it like the back of our hands. Anyway, as the family hits our usual spot by the creek halfway through, brother one and I said we'd be back in a few. We wanted to wander off further up creek. So we did. We came across a very large hill we had never seen before. It was littered with what looked like someone's worldly possessions, as if they turned a house upside down, shook out the contents, took the house and left. There were tons of painted X's on the trees showing someone intended to cut them down at some point. We poked around for a few when we thought we heard our mom hollering at us. So we turned tail and walked maybe 20 feet back down the hill to where our parents were. The entire encounter was maybe 45 minutes long, on our end. As soon as our mom saw us, we got the beating of a lifetime. We had actually been gone almost 4 hours. She never saw us walk up any hill and remembered seeing us meandering down the straight path by the creek, not turning up a hill that was 20 feet away. She and her husband and our other brother combed the woods for over 4 hours screaming our names and couldn't find hide nor tail of us. We pleaded our case and even tried showing her the hill. Surely she was messing with us. So we stomped up to the turnoff for the hill and it was gone. Nowhere to be seen. For years we explored the woods determined to find that fucking hill. We covered miles and miles of off-path woods. As we got older we mapped it out. To this day that hill does not exist. We never found it again. Never found the weird furniture, toys, clothes, and other household items that were scattered across the hill. And never met anyone in the area that had a clue about the hill. We probably just wandered way further than we meant to, but I always found it weird that we never found the hill again. This narrative takes place in the mid-1990s, before cell phones and GPS became commonly available. My two best friends and I, newly licensed to drive, opted to spend a Saturday at a water park in southern Missouri. About a 3-hour journey from our hometown in northwest Arkansas. We had never traveled there before and relied solely on road maps to get there. We had a great day, but as the sun began to set behind the trees, we decided it was time to go home. We miss a turn about 7 o'clock. But my navigator friend Paul says not to worry since another turn is coming up that would bring us there just as quickly. The following bend led us from being detoured to being lost. By 8 o'clock we're on a road with no instructive road signs and no traffic lights. We are relieved to finally spot a gas station and obtain some directions as well as some gas. Taylor and I head inside while Paul fills the gas tank. We walk in and are greeted by a really cheerful old man in his early 60s who offers us a big grin and says, "Well, hello there," in a foghorn leghorn-like voice. He appeared to be an extreme hillbilly. But he was really friendly. We mentioned that we were out of gas and needed to refuel. He stated that he was about to close for the night but would be delighted to assist us. He then said something I'll never forget. "You have to make haste, though. Tonight is buffer night." Taylor and I exchanged an uneasy look. We asked him if he could mark our location on the map. While he was looking for it, 2 people came in from the back and asked for the old man. He stated that he was up front. A guy and a lady approached us, first looking confused then smiling as though struck by something. "Are these the guests tonight?" They inquired of the old man. He shot them a look and said, "No, these are some lost children." The way he said children made the hairs on the back of my neck rise up. I'm not sure why. They glanced at us and said, "The 3 of you should make haste, because tonight is buffer night." 2 things terrified the crap out of me at that moment. The first is how they knew Paul was pumping gas out front when they arrived from behind. And the second is that they repeated the elderly man verbatim. We clarified the directions to go back on a major route and paid for gas without having to wait for change. Taylor and I rushed out of the petrol station, only to discover Paul already in the passenger seat. We were basically flying when we got inside the car because of the speed with which we took off. Before we could say anything, Paul informed us about 3 men from across the street who were standing under a tree, just staring at him. He waved, but they didn't move. We simply drove as fast as we could until we reached the highway. I still have nightmares about the petrol station and what my imagination has twisted into buffer night until this day. 12 years ago, on the way back after a Blink-182 performance in Los Angeles. We were traveling east through Arizona on our way back to Ohio on a 33-hour road trip since the other guy loved Blink so much that we had to make such a long journey for just one show. But that's beside the point. The actual objective was spending time with these 2 girls. This happened when I was driving. We come to a halt in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the night, behind a swarm of cars awaiting construction. As we waited there for a while talking, 2 girls and 2 males, I noticed spinning yellow lights on the construction vehicles and a lot of red light from all the rear car lights. A couple songs were playing while we were joking and laughing, and one of the girls was smoking. We eventually said, "Haven't we been here fucking forever?" And we began to look around. It's construction, so who knows how long the delay will be. So we sit and wait. Gets on for 20 or 30 minutes. I eventually wonder if the construction cars are even moving. I get out of the car, there are orange cones all over the place. And I'm picking my way through. Nobody is in the construction vehicles. I swear to you. They are simply sitting. Yo, what the fuck? This traffic jam is pointless, we need to just go around. I say to the other drivers, looking around. I kid you not, nobody was in the cars either. We'd just been stuck in traffic in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night behind a bunch of cars and construction vehicles that were running but had no one inside. I jumped back into the car, and we took off like a bat out of hell, but I have no fucking idea what it was about today. It wasn't a hallucination, I wasn't asleep, and all four of us saw it, looking into other cars, and seeing nobody in any of them. I didn't stop to see if there were tracks in the sand or anything. Just FCK that.